bodies are once again being carried out of a black church. Once again, racist rhetoric has metastasized into racist violence. Now, it's tempting, it is tempting, to dismiss a tragedy like this as an isolated incident, to believe that in today's America, bigotry is largely behind us, that institutionalized racism no longer exists. But despite our best efforts and our highest hopes, America's long struggle with race is far from finished.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Hillary Clinton. This is part one of a two-part Give Me Five. In the next hour, we're going to do her talking about guns. Same conversation, same place. Here she's talking about racism. And look, what happened in South Carolina was a crime, a horrendous crime. But because one white, racist, bigot, murderous thug nutjob, and I take away the nutjob, I hope he burns in the chair for it. Because one white guy did this, all of a sudden, we're all racists? We're all racists. All of a sudden, we got to take your gun away. We got to scold white people. All of a sudden. You don't believe me? Watch this.
I know this is a difficult topic to talk about. I know that so many of us hoped by electing our first black president, we had turned the page on this chapter in our history. I know there are truths we don't like to say out loud or discuss with our children, but we have to. That's the only way we can possibly move forward together.
I hope those truths are at both dinner tables, the dinner tables of blacks and the dinner tables of whites. Because you're not going to sit here and tell me that there isn't black racism and white racism. Here's more.
Race remains a deep fault line in America. Millions of people of color still experience racism in their everyday lives. Here are some facts. In America today, blacks are nearly 3 times as likely as whites to be denied a mortgage. In 2013, the median wealth of black families was around $11,000. For white families, it was more than $134,000.
All right. More blacks are denied a mortgage than whites? That's racism? Or is that you don't have the collateral, you don't have the dollars to back your mortgage? I mean, is she saying that every black who's denied a mortgage is because of racism? Are whites denied mortgages at all? And is that racism when they're denied? I mean, we could carry this as far as we want. More.
Nearly half of all black families have lived in poor neighborhoods for at least 2 generations, compared to just 7% of white families. African American men are far more likely to be stopped and searched by police, charged with crimes, and sentenced to longer prison terms than white men.
African American men are more likely to commit crimes in these areas where they're stopped and searched by police. And here's one more.
And our problem is not all kooks and Klansmen. It's also the cruel joke that goes unchallenged. It's the offhand comment about not wanting those people in the neighborhood. Let's be honest. For a lot of well-meaning, open-minded white people, the sight of a young black man in a hoodie still evokes a twinge of fear. And news reports about poverty and crime and discrimination evoke sympathy, even empathy, but too rarely do they spur us to action or prompt us to question our own assumptions and privilege.
Her husband flew the Confederate flag over the Arkansas State House when he was governor. Ask her about that. We're coming back.